Welcome everybody, it's Unstoppable Stiletzi here with another Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition casted Deathmatch series for you today. So, now we're going to be doing a series between Team Twepy and Team Câââlice, or whatever sort of weird European name I saw on Discord. So, yeah, this should be a pretty fun series. Hopefully you enjoyed the one I did last night. This looks like it's going to be about similar length, but who knows at this point. Either way, let's get the first game going, and then we can proceed with the next ones, right? Alright, so here we go. Should be loading any second now, I hope. I pray. Pray for the sake of all of us. Alright, yeah, here we go. Wonderful, so here we are at the start. So we got the team over here with the Slavs and the Romans against the Cumans and the Byzantines. So, just a reminder, this is Deathmatch, so people are going to be building like crazy at the start of the game. Like, really fast. Like, building barracks, houses, castles, all sorts of stuff. So, on this side, we see the Romans building up their barracks, some castles, some siege, doing that. What is the Slavs going to do? So the Slavs are going to do barracks, castle, probably some siege at some point. I don't see it yet, though. On this side, looks like the Biz are doing stables to start. We, in fact, see some camels on the field right now. Potentially paladins, it looks like. Barracks also going up. Also castles. Also siege. Yep, so a variety of stuff. And then for the Cumans, we see stables, any other stuff yet, but nothing but a castle right now. That seems pretty normal. So this is the thing you gotta be ready for in Deathmatch. People are gonna rush you right out of the gate with cavalry, or any sort of fast unit. If you're a Meso Civ, it's gonna be like Eagle Warriors, but if it's any other Civ, they're gonna use their mounted units to like charge right into your base, and it's gonna be pretty brutal actually, so you better be ready for that. In this case, it looks like the Cuman decides to do some step lances there because they can hit some pretty good damage from a bit of range, which is pretty good sometimes. Looks like the Romans do decide to defend with halberdiers, which is the 200 IQ move, I would say, since it's a trash unit and you're just making the Cuman player bleed through gold by using them. Slavs will also go halberdiers, by the way, so this is going to be really good. In particular, the Slav halberdiers have splash attacks, so they do a really good job at shredding cavalry. Yep, the Byzantine paladins are not looking too good right now, in fact, because of that. But do be aware, though, that the Biz are adding in some champions, so it's not all bad, right? Remember that the Slav siege weapons are a bit cheaper as well, so infantry and siege is normally the recipe you want to go with the Slavs, so we're going to see heavy scorps with helbs, and a few boyars as well being the unique unit. Right, it looks like both the Romans and the Slavs are convening at this point to try to defend the Slavs base, and it looks like the Biz are coming in from this side with champions, heavy cav archer, paladin, castle almost coming up, and what looks to be more step lancers coming in from the side over here. Yep, very good. Heavy scorps trying to target these champs, it looks like. Very nice. Let's see what these scorps end up doing there. Yeah, let's see. Now it looks like the scorps will start to target the step lancers in a nice fine line there. These ones are making sure to stay away, though, because they know what's going to happen if they stick around for too long. We see some siege archers as well coming out from the Slavs. Let's see if they can target these step lancers with ease here. That'd be a pretty good use of them. All the while, the scorps and halbs are pushing on this side. Paladins trying to weed out the halberdiers here from the Romans. Probably going to have to move off a cav real soon, though, because they're just doing so many halberdiers between the two of them. The paladins is literally a waste of your resources. Like, you shouldn't even consider doing that anymore once you know that there's that many halberdiers coming at you. Now, the cataphracts is a different story, as you know. Cataphracts, as you know, have bonus damage against infantry. They also do splash damage, and they take less counter damage, too. So, cataphracts is indeed a cavalry unit you can do against halberdiers, right? You cannot do paladins, you cannot do camels, but you can do cataphracts against halberdiers. Right, so now we see the camels moving in against the trebs, which I think is pretty good. Probably heavy camels to deny boyar usage, I would say. Right, Byzantines and in their bomb cannons now. Slavs trying to push ahead and meet shield with some siege rams, it looks like. Let's see if the Katas can take out that siege ram there. Very nice. And what about this Byzantine castle? This Byzantine castle is not looking good right now. What's going on with it? What's attacking it? Oh man, the Roman Trebs up here in the north. I didn't even see that. I was like, whoa, what has happened to this castle? Yeah, the Roman really pushed out pretty deep there, honestly, and completely cut off the yellow player. Wow. So that looks like a pretty good advance there between the two. Yeah, big time. So what are we going to see now? We're probably going to see potentially a complete encirclement of the Byzantines. Yeah, that's what I would think. Look at all the Centurions there charging on their position. This is pretty big. Oh yeah, finally the heavy camels get a bit of usage. Yep. And now we see some Cuman halberdiers trying to deal with the Centurions, it looks like. Scorps holding the line here against everything running in. There's just so few units coming in now from the Biz that the Scorps are just one-shotting them before they even reach them, which is quite good. Yeah, that being said, though, there is still a front over here of bomb cannons trying to target down the Slav siege. And the Trebs probably looking for a spot to shoot, basically. A few Helbs do move onto the position of the bomb cans, but that's why the heavy cav archers are here. The heavy cav archers are there to basically deal with any potential infantry that tries to charge the bomb cannons, pretty much. Bomb cans doing a great job against the Trebs, basically eliminating most of them. Now the Scorps are starting to get sniped by the bomb cans. These bomb cans are basically what's keeping the Slavs from going full in and joining their friend there, basically. That being said, though, we do see these Trebs completely untargeted right now. They are going to take out another Byzantine castle, which is pretty significant. It is. And then we see halberdiers making a move onto the onager here. Quite a big move, actually. And now we see more Trebs blasting onto that castle. Oh, wow, look at that. Yep. And now we see the Roman Scorpions starting to form up now. Now, Roman Scorpions are pretty good in their own way. You know, the Slav ones are a bit cheaper overall. The Roman ones, as you know, are about 60% cheaper in gold, which is sort of the big ticket resource, you know, the one that's harder to get. And then also they can shoot faster too. So, I mean, Roman Scorpions are one of the most dangerous siege weapons you can ever come across, you know, just like torsion engine siege archers and so forth. You definitely don't want to deal with the Roman Trebs if you can help it. And it looks like they are making a huge difference here too, by the way. Look at this castle already starting to get sieged here. And now we see the Centurions circling back around to try to basically meet shield against all this Byzantine melee stuff. Even though technically the Scorps can handle it, I think. The Scorps could potentially handle this, you know. Looks like the Slavs do push on the position here where the bomb cans and the heavy cav archers were, and they do push their way through. And we'll take out those siege workshops right now. Yep. Watch out though, Cuman siege archer is going to try to stop the Trebs in their tracks, but they do take the castle out first though, so that was a pretty good gain there by the Romans, all things considered. Byzantines tried to set up a castle over here now to try to intercept and maybe flank the Slav player, but the Trebs will take that castle out as well very easily. Castle will finish off any lasting Byzantine halberdiers there too. And now, it looks like the Byzantines lost that position. Now they got a unprotected town center that's basically going to get cooked. Right? And what do we see now? We see Slav halberdiers. I would start getting some halberdiers or something and rushing these siege archers now. Because that's really the last line of defense before they really start pushing deep into the Byzantine position there right now. Right? It does look like Slav and Byzantine team does get their trade set up. Markets here for red. Markets here for yellow. Also, Slavs and Romans do get their trade set up also. Watch out for this. Watch out for the onagers. Ooh, no. You went in too deep there and he suffered. Never run into onagers with Scorps. It's the worst thing you can do there. That's the worst thing you can do. He didn't lose them all, but he lost a whole lot of them. So, I mean, you get what you get when you do that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Gotta be careful of that stuff. It can be really dangerous sometimes. Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at the Romans coming up here with some legionaries and centurions. Is there any legionaries? No, they're all centurions. Alright, so Centurion's taking out the Cuman markets up there. That's pretty serious. If you can take out those markets, that's going to disrupt the whole supply line of the Cuman's gold, as well as that of the Biz, and could potentially give you a small window to really push in deep. Only thing you really have to do, though, is get rid of all these siege weapons, I think. You know, get the halberdiers working on those siege launchers, and you should be all set at that point, yeah. It looks like the siege launchers might frag the camels, though. Yeah, that's the thing about archers. That friendly fire from their range attack sometimes comes back to bite you almost. It really does, right? And we do see Slavs using Cavaliers, you know, one of the rarer units used, but I guess they needed something that's a little bit speedy and a bit cheaper than the Boyars, so that's why they ended up doing that. And what now? It looks like all the markets are down on the Cuman side, and it looks like trade will potentially be tacked down here as well. If those carts can get disrupted, that would be pretty serious. That's going to be very serious, actually, because that means no gold coming in for the Byzantine and Cuman team. It means that the Slavs and Romans will definitely be able to push in a lot deeper now from that side of things. Halberdiers and Centurions combined, trying to fight all the melee units here and start moving on to the Byzantine barracks, which it looks like they'll be able to do. But here comes the Trebs now from the Slavs. They're going to be aiming right for this castle here. If they can get that castle, then they could potentially start really pushing deep into the Byzantine position there and maybe knock them out completely. Complete KO. We'll see, though, because it looks like the barracks are starting to get cooked right now. Going that first one. Bomb cannons in position right there. Cavalier will take out a bomb cannon, right? And now we see more stuff going on there. Halberdiers trying to reposition and get themselves into a targeting area. Yep. Trebs get into firing range right now. Take out that castle right there. Very good. Halberdiers start to make a push onto the heavy cav archers there. Very nice. Just give the Trebs enough time to take out the castles. You really need the castles to go down. If the castles go down, then you can just run in with like melee units like Slav infantry and just take out the rest. Yeah, your biggest job is taking out those castles right there. At least get this one done, so all of these production buildings here are going to be in the target of being eliminated. And it looks like there is a second line of Trebs there too from the Slavs that could go after this castle next, even if these ones get completely intercepted. Looks like Centurions do slice and dice the villagers trying to repair that castle, and it is going to be lost. It's going to be lost. I mean, that thing's not surviving. Now it looks like another barracks goes down, and now you can take your Trebs and start to move into this direction. You even have the Romans doing their own Trebs trying to push onto this castle. And it looks like Byzantine base is at risk of being encircled right now from this whole entire arc right here. This big sort of, you know, big giant half of a U, V type shape. So, I mean, this is really not looking good if you're the Byzantines. If you're Twepy right now, this is the last thing you want to be dealing with here. Last thing you want to be dealing with. Big time. Scorps and Trebs from the Slavs, also a few siege launchers doing a great job at blasting through those buildings. Cumans are trying to use some paladins and try to fight the halves, but that's obviously going to not go very good since they are cavalry going up against polearms. And now we see the Trebs, archers, and Scorps really starting to push in deep from this front. And the Roman Treb over here is even still alive and doing damage on that side of things. So, you know it's pretty bad when you're getting like siege from all angles here as the Byzantines, right? I think basically the Biz got really punished pretty hard by that attack on the trade. They really never recovered from that almost, you can tell. Because look at the difference right here, the economy unit count comparison in the military one. And look at all these bars right here going in favor for the blue side over there. That's pretty big. The Cââlice raid team is doing really well right now. Now we see Scorps moving forward to blast all these halbs, and they just resigned at that point. It's like, you know, it's really not worth it at that point, because you know that you're completely encircled, and then your teammate's going to be left all alone, and yeah, that was a good tactic by those two there. We'll just go over the post-game stuff, see if there's anything worth looking at. Yep, there's that. Let's go into the next one now. So now we're going to be looking at a mirror, it looks like. A mirror match, which we don't always see, but yeah, here we go. Let's go into this mirror. We got somebody on each team, at least from what it looks like, with the Hun and the Hindustani. So it's really going to come down to who can control the Hindustanis and the Huns the best on their respective team. Alright, yep. So, yep, Twepy is the Huns, Nathan is the Hindustanis, and then on the other team, Maldhar would be the Hindustanis and Oriku would be the Huns. Okay, so right out of the gate, Hussars off into the sunset trying to raid the villagers, obviously. And the villagers have a very important job of building, like Bob the Builder building. You know, they have to do a lot of building there pretty much, right? So what's going to happen here? So if you're the Huns, you're going to start with stables, right? There's a very specific reason for that, because, of course, your stables have access to the Tarkans, which are really good siege cavalry, which will be great for harassing the enemy base with, of course. But it does look like they're going for more or less the Paladins and maybe the Hussars, yeah. Well, not necessarily Hussars, but I see Paladins coming out. Paladins, also some barracks for Halberdiers, because that's the other thing you gotta consider. The Hindustanis have their own variant of the Paladin called the Imperial Camel, right? As you know, for most civs, there's only the Camel and the Heavy Camel, right? Sort of like a Cavalier version of the Camel. But for the Indians, what used to be called the Indians now is the Hindustanis. They get the Imperial Camel as like basically a full-on Paladin Camel in a way. So those things are really going to be strong too. And to boot, Hindustani camels also attack a bit faster, about 20% faster, so they are really dangerous, you know. I think at that point I would probably just stop doing Paladins altogether and just start doing Halbs. If you're going up against Hindustanis, that would at least be my opinion. You're just burned through a lot of gold by putting the Paladins out there, just saying. Like this, look at this side, look at the Imperial Camels, what they're getting done over there. All these Paladins going to waste. Absolutely insane, right? I mean, we do see some Paladins getting across and harassing stuff, but it's really not worth it at all. At least not to me. Alright, so we do see a castle going up here by Oriku. Is anybody going to pay attention to it, though? That's the question. That is the question here. So, from the looks of it, it seems like the castle's just going to go up and nobody's going to do anything about it, which, I mean, that's why you got to pay attention. Because you could tell from the line of sight that somebody could see something and take this out, because it's literally just a one-ville castle build. That's, like, really negligent on the, who was that, Nathan Spike's part for not paying attention to this thing. It's kind of just letting them get away with that, which is really dumb. But, either way, though, I think it's going to kind of go in favor of Oriku at this point if he does get that castle up, which looks like he is. Because then he will be able to get trebuchets and actually start pushing on to the Hindustani's position over there, which would be really good. We sort of see a similar castle going up here by the opposing Hun on this side, so there's some sort of theme going on of Huns building castles in the middle of the map, I guess, which I find kind of funny. So yeah, this Hun is also putting up a similar castle, but I think it's a bit of a different instance here. It seems like literally he's doing a good job of defending it right now. You know, it's not like you have like cavalry just running by it and ignoring it. In this case, it literally came and get there because he's got a line of halberdiers literally pounding right into his camels at that point. Yeah, he can't even reliably defend this position right now, which I'm pretty shocked by, you know. Actually takes some of the Imperial camels and garrisons them in the castle to save them. Which, you know, once it gets to that point, you know you're in trouble. Like, your position is getting completely swamped at that stage. Right? So here's the Hun castle right here. And what are we going to see now? So we see halberdiers. Basically, this is like tower defense right here. This is tower defense. Like balloons, tower defense with little monkeys throwing darts at balloons. You got a big army of halberdiers right here. Basically stopping every camel that comes in before they can even do anything. Man, that's pretty insane what's going on in that particular matchup. Right? But we do see the Hindustani troops starting to fire upon the Hun castle there, so we'll see what ends up coming of that. Halberdiers do start thrusting towards the Aldinos, though, the villagers. And now we see Halberdiers starting to press onto the Trebs, which is really good. Very nice. And now we see a big group of Imperial Camels starting to charge towards the villagers, right? And right over there, we see them target the villagers. Oh, wow. Okay. He runs them right into the halbs. I don't know why, but maybe to keep that army stalled or something. How are we doing over here now? Alright, just pop those Imperial Camels out that were garrisoned before. That just occurred. And now we see heavy cav archers trying to shoot onto the castle now. Very good. Halberdiers starting to press onto those vills. Completely denying that castle spot for Hindustais, which I think is very good. Halberdiers will push onto the Trebs now. They're still trying to pack. Somehow misses them. Again, you gotta pay attention to that stuff. Like, you need to target these things. That's a big gold loss, losing about 3 Trebs. That's like 600 gold loss if you can do that. So, I mean, I think you should have probably dealt with those appropriately. Alright, so the Hindustani does, this one over here does do some archers. Probably as a means to deal with the cav archers, right? The problem when you're dealing with the Huns is they get very cheap cav archers, so they can do it until the sunset, basically. They can do it all day and night, you know. They can, even in like standard games, you're going to see a Hun with a lot of cav archers. That's just something you're going to run into. So yeah, basically expect a lot of cav archers from Hun players, just like this situation here. It does look like the Hun cav archers are doing a great job at just going in there and sniping the archers, though. Really good job with that. And at this point, I don't think the Hindustani knows exactly what to do against this combination of heavy cav archers and halbs. It's like really hard to make a push on that, because if you go in too deep, the halbs get involved and start connecting with your camels, and then the heavy cav archers start pelting tons of arrows into the camels to the point that they start taking them out very fast. Right? Looks like this Hindustani is going to try to put down a castle there, but it looks like cancels it out. Probably a good idea since the Huns are pushing on this position. It's kind of a similar story over here. We're seeing halbs and heavy cav archers. And potentially some siege coming in next, right? We don't see any siege coming in yet, though, which I'm a little bit surprised by, but we'll probably see it soon enough, though, right? Onagers blasting right onto the Trebs, it looks like. Yep. And now we see... Oh man, look at those camels start to attack all that siege stuff. Wow, very interesting. Yep, we got some Ghulams now, some Ghulams. Now the Ghulams is a unique unit of the Hindustanis. It's sort of like a Huskarl. Not quite as durable as a Huskarl, but what they do have is a very good reach with their spear, where they can actually damage multiple units in a line when they thrust into them with their little spears. So the Ghulam's kind of a niche type of a Huskarl type unit, if that makes any sense. It's kind of the unit you would want to use if you're running the heavy cav archers, I would say, especially since they run pretty fast as well. So yeah, we'll see if these Ghulams can actually deal with the heavy cav archers appropriately or not. That being said, though, look at how close this castle is into the Hindustani's line. Castle already being sieged by Trebs. 3 more Trebs repositioning over here to take out this castle. If you're the blue Hindustanis right now, you're being pushed back pretty far right now. You even have Halberdiers rushing at your farms right now. And now the Halbs are helping to take out the castle. So, I mean, the blue Hindustani is really in a lot of trouble right now in terms of positioning, and really needs to salvage this spot completely, else they're going to get completely cooked. Absolutely cooked right there. Yep, big time. So I don't know what's the next step's going to be, but it's, you know, looking pretty risky right now if you're Hindustanis. Just saying. And then we see Trebis make a move onto this castle once again. Where's this trade going? So this trade is going between what market? So the market here. And where's the market for the up here? So it's got sort of a weird angle and trajectory. I'm almost worried with that sort of a trade trajectory that you're going to have cav archers sitting there literally sniping the trade cart. So maybe consider putting the market like right here so that they run a little bit more deeper into your base. Not that I'm saying that the base is going to last long anyways. I'm just saying if you really seriously want to get trade going, you got to move that trade card a little bit away from the action, because it's not hard for these cav archers to just sit there and pop any of the trade cards that appear in their line of sight. It's really not. So you need to do something about that. Big time. On the other hand, though, it looks like this Hindustani is actually making a move for center map, right at the top of the mountain. Right at the top of the elevation there where the snow is. We see a castle, we see a town center, we see farms. We see a bit of expansion by them, and then the Ghulams are actually getting into the Huns base up here and reaching the Paladins, so this is a little bit of a better favorable Hindustani position. How deep are so the Huns are going to go really deep with the castle now. They're going to go right here. So this is sort of threatening both players right now. This is threatening the Hun up here, and this is threatening the Hindustani. This is going to stop this trade route if this goes up. If this goes up, this trade route is done. He needs to take these Paladins and stop that right now. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Exactly what he's going to do. He has to do that. He cannot let that castle go up. If that castle goes up, you're done. The trade will be completely washed. Completely washed. But it did look like he did get markets over here, though. So maybe ship pivoting away from the front lines, like I said. Hopefully that's the case. And what's going on up here? Are we seeing a lot of battles up here or what? Yeah, we're seeing the Hindustanis on this side start to really come down now and maybe even help their Hun ally out, since they're doing so well on this front. Like taking out the castles, taking out a lot of the production buildings. All they really need to do is reach back to here, and then your blue player there is completely, encircled almost. You know what I mean? Oh, Cav Archer's going for the trade carts. Whoa, 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 whoa. Can they take any of them out, though? It doesn't look like it, because they're trying to clean up all the units here, it looks like, first. And then they can maybe potentially get out and do some stuff. Nah, it doesn't look like they have quite enough units to do it, but it's alright. It's alright. It did keep them distracted, though, I will say that. And it's definitely going to give Huns more time to get some Trebs out and really start going for another push again over here. Yeah, seems like Team Twepy right now has the advantage in military and economic units. So that's pretty significant, honestly. And it looks like the castle will start to pelt some arrows into that stable, which I think is really good. Looks like Treb will attack the castle down here, though. Take that one out. And there we see what looks to be some Ghulams from the ally coming to join them too. So if any sort of cav archers or castles get involved with the defense, the Ghulams will be able to tank those arrows for the rest of the Hun's army, basically. So yeah, it looks like right now at least, the Huns are really pushing in deep. Yep, we see stables coming up now. We're starting to see some Hussars be added in for trash units. Yep, I think Hussars are probably what you want to use at this stage to deal with siege, act as a bit of a meat shield for the cav archers. Yeah, I mean at this point, depending on how much gold you got, you're probably going to see Hussar, Halberdier, heavy cav archer if you're the Huns. That would probably be the preferred combination, right? And then if you're a Hindustani, you'll probably end up doing like camels and Hussars, I would guess. Maybe some bomb cans for sieging. It's potentially what we're going to see here, but who knows at this point. We do see Hussars doing a good job at keeping the rams away from the stables. But it's a bit hard because the defending Hun is doing a good job at targeting your Hussars too. So there's that consideration to worry about. Hussars do finish off all that melee stuff, and then they move on to the heavy cav archers, yeah. Hussars there, gonna attack the stables now. Halberdier's coming to attack the rams, it looks like. Hindustani pikemen coming out now, it looks like. Pikemen with Imperial camels. Could work well. At this stage, it looks like the blue and green team is not looking too good, and they're actually forced to start going with some trash, yeah. Hun's doing helps, Hindustani is doing pikemen. It's going to be a bit of a tough fight here, honestly, so I don't know how it's going to go. Heavy cav archers have to try to kite these Hussars as best as possible, also some of the camels. Yeah, best thing of all, if you're the Huns right now, is the fact that you got castles this deep into the enemy position. Now you can essentially use the castles as the cover to, deal with whatever's attacking you right here. Yeah. Camels are starting to try to attack those gold miners there. There's some gold mining villagers actually stealing off of the Hindustanis gold right now, which is super annoying. Super duper annoying. Alright, we're seeing looks to be a raid here by the Huns. Raided to the trade position now. Looks really good. Notice here how when you have a Hindustani ally, you can actually use caravanserais to actually speed up the trade route a bit, which I think is going to be a really good idea. They did a pretty good job with the placement too. Look at how one square is here and one square is over there. So this trade route is working quite well right now with all those caravanserais moving things along pretty quickly. Similar to last time though, again completely surrounded by both players, prevent them from actually doing any real trade damage. Because those two really need to make sure that none of their trade carts go down. If they lose those trade carts, you're looking at some big problems right there. Big ones. Looked like the Hindustanis did try to get a castle here, but it was intercepted. This would have been a pretty significant castle. But honestly, I think he maybe didn't have line of sight there too much, because you can see even the castle's starting to shoot at the foundation there. So yeah, definitely went in a little too deep if you're the yellow Hindustanis. You should have maybe put it right here, put some trebs out and started to fire from this position. Yeah, at least that's what it seems like. Oh man, look, there are some cav archers that do get through though. And they're going to start eating up all those trade carts right now. Man, that is really bad. Really bad. That's very bad actually. Because if you can get rid of all those trade carts, you're going to definitely make it hard for the enemy team to do a lot of gold units. The only sort of gold unit you might see a whole lot of still would probably be the Hun Cav Archers, since they're so cheap in gold, right? They're such a cheap unit. You're probably going to see Hun Heavy Cav Archers for sure, but all the other stuff, likely gone at that point, Absolutely. I mean, look, we're going to have to see when the Red's ready to do another major siege at this position, taking out this castle and all this stuff here, and then moving up to this point. It's going to be a really interesting challenge to see when that starts up. Alright, so we do see heavy cav archers, paladins. A few halberdiers trying to push towards yellow Hindustani, but I don't think it's going to go too well, You got enough paladins there, it looks like, to sort of intercept that. A few golems mixing it as well as sort of a meat shield against the arrows, which I think is pretty good. So what now? Oh wow, Hussar Imperial Camel mix trying to go up against the yellow Hindustanis now. They're kind of realize at this point they have to use teamwork to make the dream work, They gotta work together to try to deal with this serious threat in the north. I don't know what the Red Hun's going to do. The Red Hun could potentially just go in and completely start washing everything away as far as trade is concerned. That being said, though, look at all the Hun castles we have here, literally just to protect this trade. It's pretty big, actually, Looks like Paladins and Heavy Cav Archers will take out all of those villagers, all of them, and are going to actually start to take out trade carts, too. Which is really significant. Yeah, really significant. So yeah, definitely if you're green and blue here, you're not looking too good right now. I mean, look at the score difference. You got, well, it looks like the two Hindustanis are sort of on a similar playing field, but definitely the Red Hun is doing really good compared to the green one. It's like night and day almost how well they're doing there. So you can definitely tell they're doing a good job on that front. And now we're going to start to see some trebuchets make a position onto that castle now. Very good. See that castle get completely swamped over there. Very nice. Take out all those villagers. Halberdiers and paladins fighting at this position now. Paladins pushing in the north now onto the Green Huns position here. Very good. But we do see Green Huns trying to go for a push here with heavy cav archers. I don't think it's going to go really well because look at these Imperial Camels intercepting the trebuchets quite well there. Very nice. We are seeing some Hindustani hand cannoneers finally. We haven't seen this all day. Hand cannoneers are a really great option for the Hindustanis because they get extra range, about 2 extra range. And they get a little bit of extra armor too as part of one of the Civ bonuses. So hand cannoneers are probably a great unit to do. Especially if you think the halberdiers are becoming a bit overwhelming. You know what I mean? That being said though, it looks like they're not doing that great against the heavy cav archers just because there's just so many of them right now. I don't know if what Hindustan is doing there is really going to be good. But it does seem like their score's a little bit ahead of the opponent though. So that's the good sign. You know, I still feel like yellow can defend himself here pretty well. Giving red enough time to actually start sieging onto blue. I think you can do at this point. What's the next push going to be? So we see a Treb moving for the Huns, the red Huns. Where's that Treb going? And is it going to actually get to connect to the building that it wants to? So I think it's going after that castle. I think it's going after this castle. Try to weaken it, get rid of it, so you can start getting Hun armies into this area. Right under the town centers, into all these buildings. That's your first way of basically forcing your way towards the trade route, I think. And really getting some attrition done. That's what I feel like you probably want to do there. That being said, though, it's a single Treb. It looks like it didn't have a whole lot of defense, and the Imperial Camels were able to go in and just cut that thing to shreds. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit more work, I feel like, for Team Twepy to really get this position working. They are moving a siege workshop up to this part. I believe we're probably going to see like some siege rams of some kind be used here to really start taking out all these buildings. Siege rams would be great. You're just going to have to make sure you can protect them with helps or some sort of heavy cav archer mass. Because if you can't, then obviously the rams are not going to do that well for you and you're just wasting gold at that point. That's at least what I think. I also want to look at where the trade route is too for trade here, trade there. Okay. They got all their caravanserais set up too to make sure that the trade route's moving fast. Very smart. It basically seems like red and yellow have been able to avoid any substantial damage to their trade. However, these guys, very different story. Their trade is actually being threatened by Trebs now, taking out the markets. If those Mercados go down, I think it's like the last game, you know, you're going to see a huge surrender at some point because of that. Because it's really that trade that's keeping these two going. Once they lose that trade, you're not really seeing too much Paladins anymore. You're not seeing too many Imperial Camels anymore. It's not looking too good. So, yeah, all those markets go down, you know you got trouble. Caravanserai is also being targeted. I mean, that's going to obviously, even if the trade route does survive, the trade route's going to be a bit slower now because you don't have the optimization that the Caravanserai was doing for you. And also we see Halberdiers, Paladins, and Trebs move at this position still. Does look like the Huns are intercepting with Rams, right? Looks like they are. Rams will get these stables down, so I don't know what's going on over here. But I can say for certain that the trade route has been completely stopped in its tracks. I think all gold's going to stop for a while for these two guys, and they're going to be scrambling like scrambled eggs, figuring out, okay, how do I get the trade restart again, you know? These Trebs could technically sneak back, wait for the Vills to start, and then could siege down another market again and prolong the lack of gold even longer. If they do that, I think you're looking really good there. Yeah, absolutely. Looks like the Halberdiers and Paladins of Red, though, are fighting pretty well, taking out the Imperial Camels where they show up. I think once you do get a siege workshop or two and you can start using siege rams here, then you're really pushing this base to its limits. You're really pushing these guys back to where you want. So I think that's exactly what you're going to want to do if you're over there, yeah. Also, pay attention to this, man. Your trade carts are idling right now. Yep, very good. Get those things started up right now. So you're going to lose so much gold doing that. You really can't afford to lose any more gold than you're already doing here. So now we got paladins attacking the trade carts. Looks like they are taking out some of them. This one's almost sort of done. And what's going on in Yellow's base? Is Yellow going for a real push again? Yes, they're going for another push on the market. The market's under attack again. Another attack on the market. So they thought that they had their trade back, and it's already gone again. Yep, the trade is gone now. Now they have to sell for a smaller trade route here. Even that's threatened. Like, these traps could totally get over here and target this market, maybe even this one. And then you're going to see the gold really start to dwindle there. They're going to be forced into an actual trash unit war just to survive. And I think once it gets to that point, you're done. You know what I mean? Because these guys don't have to play trash war. They got a fully functioning trade route that has not been harassed, targeted, threatened at all. So yeah, basically they are going to really get a good push going, yeah. From what it looks like, yeah. Yep. Oh wow, we see a Hindustani castle coming up here. That's pretty significant. If that castle goes up, now you're basically forcing the Huns away from that position altogether now, because then they can't just run up and put down another market again. They're literally going to get pelted by arrows if they do that. Looks like Trebs will start to target the Hun castle at that position, and now these markets are also under siege. From what it seems like. Very good. What's going on, man? We're having that issue again that we had the last time, so guess what we have to do? We have to close out Capture Age and continue viewing from the regular view, right? Seems pretty normal. It's always annoying when the screen does that weird thing. But alright, here we go. So where are we at here? It looks like... Let me turn the Fog of War off as well. Seems like... look at all this devastation to the trade. Man, wow. Yeah. That ended pretty well over there, I will say. So, yep. Very good. And now we should be able to open up the Capture Age once again and continue watching, I think. Seems like a pretty good move. Boot that up. Should be up any second. And we'll be able to go into game number 3 now of this series. Yep, it'll load us into the interface of the one we just finished, and then we go watch more. And then we should be able to watch the next one now. So what is this one going to be? So now we got 2 Saracens, right? A Saracen on each team, but one team has Biz and one team has Burgundians. Alright, so it should be a fun one to look at. So this will be Red Saracens here. Their teammate here is the Burgundians. Down here we have Blue Saracens, it looks like. And over here we got the Green Biz, the Byzantines. So yeah, looking forward to this one. Majority of the civs here, except for the Burgundians, I feel like have a mega flexible tech tree, I would say. They got like millions of different unit options, so we'll see what they end up going with. I think in general, though, expect lots of camels here. Lots of camels. You know, we got like 2 different civs participating in this match that have really good camels. The Saracen players have more HP on their camels, and then the Byzantine camels are cheaper, so I mean... it's a no-brainer to do camels on this. I think it's pretty obvious that you're going to want to do camels. Right, see, these are the Byzantine camels here. Not as strong as the Saracen ones, but they are cheaper. So they'll be going up against each other pretty much. And then the Burgundians, what are the Burgundians going to do? So the Burgundians up here are getting castles up, and they're going to go with Costiliers. The Costiliers to go up against all that stuff, it looks like. So the Costiliers, compared to the Paladins... are going to maybe potentially do a little bit better against camels, since they do at least get a charge attack where they initially do a lot of damage. So they might be able to make a bit of a dent on the camels, but who's to say at this point? We'll have to see. Yeah, looks like right now it's just a huge camel war right now, seeing whose camels can get into whose base and basically disrupt everything. So yeah, this is going to be a really tough one to see who can end up doing this. So yeah, at least from what it looks like right now. Camel on camel action. Saracens get up their castle now, so it looks like you can't just run into their base anymore with camels. You're going to have to go back with some probably trebs or bomb cans as the biz and actually start sieging this thing down. Right? Looks like at this point we see both the biz and the Saracen camels on this side trying to work together to defend this base as much as possible. Burgundians still continuing in with the Custodia and their wonderful charge attack. Looks like Blue Saracen here ends up doing the heavy cav archers too. You know, Saracens do get good heavy cav archers, definitely, so that's a good choice to go with typically. What else now? We see camels teaming up against camels and heavy cav archers, right? Now the Red Saracen's also doing heavy cav archers, so it's a pretty agreed upon unit at this point. Burgundians still massing up their Custodes and their wonderful charge attacks, trying to eke out damage wherever they can. Wherever they can possibly do it. So yeah, it looks like right now the fighting is sort of almost at the midpoint of Saracen and Byzantine base, so it's a pretty tight battle there, honestly. Yep. And right over there, we got heavy camels with some Mamluks. We got the Mamluks finally. The Mamluks have joined in. So the Mamluks, as long as they don't get hit too much by melee, I think it'd be great for targeting down cavalry in particular and just slicing through them very fast. We'll see though. So yep, looks like Saracen camels are gonna go into that position, and we're gonna see Mamluk scimitars really doing some stuff there against all these units. Look, it really forced the heavy camels and the cav archers to split up, just to keep them all from coming after them in a combined mass. I think it's pretty funny. Saracen's doing a sneaky castle over here, though, way off to the side. They could potentially go into a forward base around this spot. You know, because we know pretty much that the trade is going to go on along here. So if you have a castle here already, and you get a few stables down there, you could pop out some hussars and literally just disrupt that entire trade route and nip it in the bud before it even happens. That's why I would absolutely do there, if it was me. It was my opinion, that's what I would do. Looks like heavy camels and cav archers fighting through the Saracen camels pretty well. Do we see any sort of siege yet? We have not. We do see some siege. We see the biz add in some bomb cannons. The bomb cannons are going to be the main method here of getting down that castle, it looks like. Right? Some Custodes coming down, but I'm really unsure what that's going to do. Now, you probably want to just come in with huge armies of paladins or something. Maybe some sort of gunpowder units, since the Burgundians got good gunpowder. Come in with like a bunch of hand cannons and blast things. Who am I to say? Who am I to say? Any sort of like forward positioning by Burgundians? Yes, we do. We do see the barracks game put up on the front lines here just to back up their buddy and prevent them from getting completely cooked over there, which I think is good. Now we see halberdiers and camels looking to push back now against the two camel civs here, pretty much. Mamluks also being a bit of a trouble, I can see as well. Onagers get a good shot into the Mamluks. Very good. Very good shot there. Onagers get a shot right into that position. Very nice. Oh wow, look at that targeting. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Oh man, look at these archers getting to work there. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Oh boy. Mamluk's doing a pretty good job at targeting that cavalry, it looks like. Wow, look at this big mass of Custodiers there. Wow, that's going to do pretty good. It's going to do pretty good, actually. Let's see where they end up jumping down on, because all their combined charge attacks are definitely going to change the battle pretty well. Watch out for the fragging, though. Watch out for the fragging from the Siege Archers. That's kind of dangerous. Yeah. Oh, man, look at the trade here. Look at the trade. Look at the trade. Look at the trade cards trying to run away. Run away. Run away. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. Look at the trade cards literally forced a rout over there. It's really awesome right there. Very good. That's exactly what you want to see. Yeah, Mamluks could literally just go over there and just stop all the trade carts right now. It's literally what can happen there. Got enough stuff in this area to just stop that trade before it even begins. Yeah, this is looking sort of like a good Twepy setup here to really get all this stuff destroyed, yeah. Whereas it looks like the... Oh man, we're starting to see Blue Saracens move on to this trade now. It looks like there's a nice wall of siege workshops that's going to stall it for now, and maybe that's going to give enough delay there to basically get the... Oh yeah. At least the Burgundian knows a little bit about it and is starting to get some Custodiers set up at that position with the waypoint. It's going to be a while though. It's going to be a while though, I think, before you can deal with it completely. In that time, you might potentially lose some trade carts there, which would be pretty dangerous, I would say. Castle taking out all that stuff, pretty much. Took out all those units there. Very nice. Halberdiers coming to protect the archers as well. Mamluks are targeting the siege archers. Halberdiers doing a good job against those Mamluks. Blue trebuchets sieging onto the castles now. Very good. Now this castle will be targeted next, it looks like. Very good. Now this looks like a pretty big push here, I will say. Losing 2 castles in such a short amount of time is not good. I mean, that's really bad. That's a big crumble on that front right there. And I feel like now, you just need to get one of these castles down, and then you can just start disrupting that trade route really well. Right at that position, yeah. It's exactly what you want to do. Looks like Siege Archers doing a good job blasting all that cavalry apart. Very nice. Trebuchets can start attacking these castles now. Castle is almost down, it looks like. Yep. Oh boy, castle going down. Very good. Very, very good. Very nice. Let's see if this castle can be taken out as well. Oh, yep, Trebs are completely crushed, so it looks like they saved the day over there, at least for now. Now we see heavy camels from Byzantines make a huge charge towards the trade route where they're likely to take out some carts. I think some of the carts will be taken out. Looks like camels will go over here. Also, camels will get to go in that position as well, it looks like, pretty much. Very nice. All those trade carts are being basically swept under the rug almost, it seems like. Yep. Very good. Very, very good. Pretty good. Yeah. Very good. What else now? Looks like a few Mamluks here have taken out even more trade carts. I'm wondering if this is gonna mean something, you know? We see more trade carts be targeted. We're gonna see more of them target over here. Guaranteed. Oh yeah, look at all the losses there in trade carts. This is very big. Like, if they can take out more of these things. Actually, Team Twepy is looking like, for the first time in the series, looking to be in bad shape right now. Oh yeah. Absolutely. This could be a real big game changer here, honestly. Alright, and now we see camel riders attacking the villas. We see Trebs making a position onto the castles as well. Very nice. Bombs, cannons will target the TC pretty much. Very good. Take out that archery range, it looks like. Very nice. Trebs over there. Gotta come on this side now. Oh man, look at the Mamluks. That's why Mamluks are so good. They can like snipe siege weapons with ease. It's like a cav archer, but it deals hack damage. So, yeah, the perfect sniper of siege weapons. Yeah. Oh boy, we got Mamluks though targeting the Mercados here. So, got a whole new problem starting up right now. Also, Trebs are going to target this castle here, so it looks like this part of the trade route is starting to be targeted again. This trade route is in pretty deep, dire straits right now. Oh yeah. Castle is starting to be targeted there. Mamluks doing a good job hiding in this little... No, they're finally in a position where the castles can't hit them, it looks like. So yeah, they're just sitting there taking out one trade card at a time, it looks like, yeah. That's how you mess up an entire trade network right there. In real time. Oh boy, yeah, there's taking out even more of this stuff at this point. And now the Trebs are targeting the castles as well, which is really good. Halberdiers being targeted as well, looks like. Mammo, oh boy, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. We see Twepy losing for the first time. They say they're GG's. Yeah, and at the, oh wow. Good match. Good match right there. So let's look at the statistics. See what the statistics say right in this area. Yeah. It's good to see the underdog finally coming back for some action. That's really good to see usually. Oh, big time. Alright, so let's look at game number 4 now in this series. So now we got ourselves a whole new set of stuff, it looks like. We got Dravidians and Teutons against another Teuton and the Tatars, from what it looks like. So we'll load into that match right now and see what happens. Can the Maldahar Orico team sort of come back from this and maybe cause another upset again and then make it a final series that goes 3-2 or 2-3? We'll find out. We'll find out right now. So here we are with the Dravidians sending up barracks, put some houses up, a castle, more barracks. We see that the Tuans are doing a castle, send up some houses, some barracks there. Looks like the Tatars are going to get stables out. Are we having archery? Yep, we got archery, stable, castle, any siege. At least not yet. And then the Tuans over here will do stable, barracks, castle. Okay. It's always good to see what they start with there, pretty much. This is gold mine, by the way, so look at all the gold here in the middle of the map that people could potentially grab to keep their economies going for a while. So yeah, should be a real interesting match to say the least. We see Steppe Lancers be used as the starting unit of choice because, again, they have a bit of range in their melee. So they can, you know, sort of poke and prod the vills a bit easier and reach into stuff. Castle is going up for the Tuan player here. Looks like some vills are being targeted. Some of the vills are being targeted and poked by those long lances. Oh man, though, yeah, like, if they can stall out this castle production for a little bit longer here, that'll be pretty good, you know, that'll be quite good to allow the Twepy there to keep pushing in. Yeah. Looks like Dravidians are doing Ellie Archers. Dravidian Ellie Archers do shoot a bit faster, which is good. And then the Halberdiers of the Dravidians, too, are really strong because they have the Woot Steel technology applied to them, which means that they ignore all armor. So these Halberdiers are literally dealing full, real damage against everything, you know. It doesn't matter how much pierce or plate armor you got, the Halberdiers will completely ignore that. Yeah, so, but the problem is, there's not a lot of Halbs right now, so they can kind of be one-shot by the Cav Archers, right? It's not that easy. It's not that easy right there. In general, you're going to see a lot of heavy Cav Archers from the Tatars because theirs actually gets a bit of extra armor, silk armor, so they'll be a bit durable against damage, which is pretty good on their end. Tatars going pretty deep at the forward base, going with the castle right now. Let's see if the Ellie Archer could potentially target those vills. That could be pretty significant, honestly. Looks like castle is going up. Siege Workshop is already up to do some siege. Maybe we'll see some flaming camel explosives being used here. Who knows at this point what's going to happen. It's going to be tough to see what's going to happen exactly here. And yeah, also, is there any elevation here to consider? Any sort of elevated positions? From what I see, no. Because remember, with the Tatars, their units actually deal 25% more damage when on top of a hill. So everything seems kind of flat right now. You know, hopefully not like their personalities, but yeah, definitely flat in the sense that the Tatars aren't going to be able to cap on that bonus of theirs that well. What about all those exploding camels? Yep, we see the exploding camels coming out right now to attack the buildings, which I think is going to make a pretty big difference, honestly. Castle is being denied here, I guess. Is there a yeah, there is a Treb there that's actually going to shoot this foundation down right now. Ooh, look at that. Look at the... Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at those flaming camels just completely swamping that. Look at that stuff. The flaming camels getting the job done there. Taking out majority of the elephant archers. Majority of the Ellie archers are completely gone now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a really good push right there. Yeah. Yep. Oh boy, flaming camels. Oh no. Yeah. Doing a great job on those Ellie archers. Doing a great job on them, actually. Now it looks like heavy Cav Archers, Steppe Lancer Siege are going to start to push on these castles now. More flaming camels coming in to target the Treb, but the Halbs meat shield them right in front of them. Must really hurt being that halberdier that day. Treb's targeting down that castle now, and then they're probably going to take out another castle. And then once those castles are down, then it's going to be tough to say what's going to happen next, honestly. It's really anyone's guess, you know? Just saying. Just saying. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Here we are with the flaming camels again. Look at those explosions. That is really good. I don't know why they idle there, but still. Man, that's pretty big. Oh, boy. I was pretty impressed by that, honestly, yeah. I was like, wow, look at all these elephant archers that keep getting blown up by these little flaming camels, yeah. So here they come again. Here we go with the camels. Camels are doing it again. Also, we got a siege archer here, too. From the allied Tuans targeting the Trebs. That's got to help. Oh, yeah, the Trebs got siege work. The yellow Tuans built some siege workshops here, too, to basically help deal with the Trebs and hold that line. Also, they brought some paladins in, too. So it looks like all the fighting's going on right here right now. You know? Oh, yeah. Looks like all these buildings are going to be completely gone, and then Tuans can actually start pushing on this position. They got all this siege, and then they got some Teutonic Knights to back them up as well, looks like. Yep. Well, looks like Trebs are just going to focus on all the buildings in their vicinity right now, so like houses and stuff. I don't like that the Trebs are exposed, though. You gotta get those, like... Oh, yeah, wow. Yeah, those flaming camels still doing some good work there, honestly. Yeah. Where's the nearest siege workshops? Right there. You can still get enough done, it seems like, yeah. Very nice. Trebs are going to start targeting the barracks now, it looks like. Yep. Very good. Can you sow his ellies? Yeah, that's what you need to do. You need to get those camels working on the elephants, I think. That's what you want to do. Got the big elephant in the room, and the fiery camel is the way to deal with that. A lot of TCs here by the Tatar, looks like. The Tatar is pretty well established there. So I think your big job is getting rid of these Ellie archers. Once you do that, maybe get some siege and basically force these castles down, yeah. So that's just about it, I would say. Looks like this forward base position is being pressed, though, by Orlico and Maldahar there. Seeing the faster shooting Ellie archers and the Teuton halberdiers with a bit of extra armor. Starting to blast down those siege workshops. A few heavy scorpions, too, there to basically act as the support, yeah. Maybe consider putting some camels up here to stop these Ellie archers as well. That's what I would think you would want to do. Also, when are these Teutonic Knights going to do something? Also, paladins here, those could be used for something. I don't like seeing idle units unless he's doing it for scouting purposes. If he's doing it for scouting purposes, whatever, but I just don't like seeing those things just loafing around there not doing anything. I'd rather see them sort of just pull something off and, you know, get something done there, yeah. Very good. Halberdiers trying to poke their way into the paladins now, looks like. Yep, very good. Very, very good. Scorp's doing a good job against those Vills. Very nice. Yep. Oh boy, look at that. Watch out for the exploding camels, though. The exploding camels are like that wild card you don't expect. They go, I actually get rid of all these Scorps now. Look at that. Every single Scorp completely out now for the count. But now we see the Kijiks. The Kijiks are getting involved now. The Kijiks, as you know, actually generate gold while they're fighting. So, provided you're going into reasonable battles, the Kijiks will actually save some of the gold that you spent on them in the combat, as long as you're attacking favorable stuff, right? You don't want to obviously fight halberdiers with them, but if you're fighting stuff like archers, siege, you know, stuff like that, yeah, the Kijiks are going to do really good at intercepting archers and probably sword infantry, I would say. In general, it seems like still everybody's converged around the mines over here, basically. Trade is being set up down here as well. Trade is just beginning for these guys, though, but it looks like the champions are gonna intercept that, yeah. Nathis Spike's champions do intercept that right there. Wow. Very nice. The fight for the middle commences, yep. Seems like Twepy team is winning theoretically because they're wiping out so many vills here. It's not even funny. They're still holding on to the gold that they just collected, not even able to drop it off, just getting completely swamped and cooked. Wow, look at that. Look at that, man. Ugh. Very significant indeed, yeah. Very good stuff. Heavy cav archers find the helbs there. Very good. Oh, good. Take that archer out. Very nice. Take out those trebuchets there. Very good. Kijik's taking out the archers. Very nice on that side. Elfin archers continuing to be a problem, though. Yeah. I think it's the elfin archers that's basically forcing the Tatars to basically have to keep making these camels just to deal with them. One for the wild factor of the elfin archers. Who knows how this match would be going right now. Yeah, big time. Now we see Kijiks and cav archers here disrupting the trade too, which is really not good. Yeah, it looks like there's not even a market there to even use, right? Where's the market even at? I don't know. I don't know where the market is, you know? Yes. Just makes no sense. Yes. Yes. Let's see the Trebs make a move onto this capsule now here. Will be a significant loss to make it much easier for cav archers to go in and wipe out the rest of those vills. Green 2 and Siege Lions are trying to make a move on the Trebs, but the heavy cav archers are making it a bit tougher. Castle does go down. Heavy cav archers have to... Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Looks like, yeah, Team Twepy wins again. Seems like, yep. Very good. So now let's see what the next match has to offer after statistics. Very nice. Let's see what game number 5 has. Let's load this in right now. Yep. Should be a fun matchup, I would say. Any second now. Please, please, pretty please. Waiting for selection. Yeah, I said I wanted to do this one. Silly. Just load it in. Yeah, it should load in any second now, I hope. Otherwise, we'll have to restart the application. Which could take a while. This is weird. Is it freezing or what? Seems like the thing's freezing right now. It's weird. Let me close out the app. Okay. Unexpected error occurred. Let me try rebooting it again. Okay. Alright, let's exit out of that so we don't see anything we're not supposed to, alright? I will boot up the capture age once again. Okay. I didn't know what was going on there. My computer was like tweaking out and stuff, and I'm like, what's going on here, man? Yeah, I was freaking out a bit. Like, okay, I hope I don't have to do this whole thing again. And so here we go. Let's see what we got here with replays. This is the one we want to do right here at the tippy top. Says it's loading the replay file in right now, and we should be able to get started with it, right? Here we go. Last match of the series. So in this one, we got Maldahar as the Mongols, Aurico is the Celts, and then we got on this team here, we got Twepy again as the Mongols, and then we got Nate the Spike as the Persians. So should be a really neat matchup to say the very least. So let's see what ends up happening here, alright? Okay, so what are the Mongols going to do over here, the Blue Mongols? So the Blue Mongols doing stables, siege, and castle. So and looks like over here the Celts are going to do barracks, obviously, and the castle. Looks like the Persians going to do castles, bit of stable, makes sense really since you're the Persians, and then the Red Mongols are going to do stable, castle, right? Looks like the Celt Hussar did try to cause a little bit of trouble there. Celts are popping out tons of halberdiers, it looks like. And then the castle is coming out right now. Yep, very nice. What are we going to see for units from this Celt? So mostly just halberdier spamming at this point. Seems like a reasonable thing to do, you know, since you know you're going up against a cavalry civ like the Mongols. Your Celtic infantry actually moves faster, so you'll be able to catch them a lot easier, honestly. So I think that definitely works in your favor. On this side, though, things are going to be a little bit different. We're probably going to see a lot of Persian War Elephants spamming like we're seeing right now. Out of multiple castles, this one. Also, we'll see some Savars coming out of the stables as well. Maybe some camels. And yeah, we got another castle over here, and we got another castle over there. That's really like what the Persians usually like to do, is just spam elephants, elephants, elephants. Every elephant in the room and just spam them some more. So yeah, that's probably what we're going to see there. Whereas the Celts, they just like to go good old siege and infantry, you know? Siege weapons with more HP that shoot faster, and then infantry that moves faster to save them. So that's definitely what we're going to get with these guys. Every now and then you can see maybe a Hussar Paladin thing from the Celts, but that's pretty rare, I would say, since they're not the strongest in their armor compared to other European Paladins. Okay, so... Ooh, look at that, getting caught off guard by the Mongol Siege Archers. Ooh, yeah. Mongol Siege Archers actually move faster because all Mongol siege weapons move faster. So you gotta watch out for that stuff, you know? If you're not careful, the Mongol Siege Archers can shoot at units attacking them, you know, if they can get out of the way fast enough. So, I mean, it's kind of a complicated situation there. Castle's intercepted by the Mongols there. They got Mangudai and Siege Archers working on that spot, looks like. Yep. What we got over here, we got Heavy Scorps with some Camels and Mangudai trying to push onto this position now. Yeah. Very good. We also got some siege workshops inside of the Persian space as a backup, I think. If for whatever reason this position really gets out of favor, you're going to need a Mongol back there to push some siege archers through, which looks like they're actually doing. They are going to send some siege archers over to the Persian side to act as sort of a combo unit with the war elephants, which I think is a pretty rad, smart idea, actually, yeah. Now we see Mangudai trying to shoot their way through all the villas and the infantry, it looks like, yep. Very good. Siege Archers doing a pretty good job sieging through all those houses, it looks like, yeah. And what now? We see Siege Archers blasting through the houses there, very nice. Okay, Siege Archers killing all the buildings now, looks like. Alright, so now we see Siege Archers pushing all the buildings here. This goes a lot better for the Mongols since they can move faster and technically dodge some of the Archer shots almost. Yeah, not quite that one, but yep, that killed Archers still alive. Mongols at this point probably just going to push some Hussars with the Mangudai, I think. Yeah, Mongol Hussars have a bit more HP on them, so they are a pretty preferable choice as sort of like a meat shield usually. Right, and then as far as fighting units that do reach the siege weapons, you probably want to shoot them with the Mangudai, right? And their faster shooting rate, right? And of course, partying tactics gives the Mangudai more damage against the pikemen lines, so that's always going to be good too from that point of view. Oh, we got some Woad Raiders now, some very fast infantry there. Looks like the Mangudai, for at least the moment, are countering them pretty well. We do see some Trebs make a move onto this castle now, though, so we'll see what ends up happening there. Pikemen with Mangudai and some Scorps moving onto this side, trying to attack that Persian castle over there, it looks like, yep. Oh wow, look at that. And now we see Onager wars between Celts and Mongols. The two pretty signature Onager civs in the game, I should say the mod, yeah. Yeah, no mods here. I love mods, but not now. But, yep, we see Onagers take a hit onto that infantry. Also, Onagers targeting the siege weapons. Not very good. Also, we see Onagers blasting some more of those villains there, looks like, yeah. Very nice. Celt Woad Raiders are going to target the siege Onagers now, looks like, yep. Very good. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. Ugh. Unbelievable. Oh boy. Whoa. Ugh. Oof. Quite the crazy situation to find yourself in there at that point. And what do we see now? We see siege Archers starting to blast through these buildings, yep. What about here? Looks like the elephants and the Archers holding pretty well now. You really can't push in with these scorpions because as soon as you do, the Archers are just going to nuke them. Literally obliterate them. One Archer shot right in the middle at this sort of like circle area will wipe out all those scorpions. So you really need to watch out for that sort of thing, yeah. It's a real danger pretty much, yeah. Now we see siege Archers fighting their way towards these castles now, it looks like. Let's see there. Ooh, wow. Whew. Oh, wow, look at that. What good micro there with the Archers, taking out all the Woe Rares. Very nice. Looks like these Mongols will continue to push even deeper in. Trebuchet is still looking strong there and will start to really push in deep, yeah. Wow, look at this. They're going in so deep right now. This is huge. There's not even a... He's going to have to build new castles now, yeah. Is he even going to get those castles done, or is that... Oh, man, gets the Treb... Look at this pushing. This is substantial stuff right here. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Look though. The Scorps actually took out some of the Archers there. That's pretty surprising. Okay, so now you're going to want to back up these Archers a bit because now you got a castle there. And you don't want the castle obviously taking those out now, right? Literally forcing the Blue Mongol to come in and intercept now because look at all the damage that's being done here. Right, Trebs are going to take out this castle too, it looks like. Quite significant. Oh yeah, this is really bad. This is really bad for the Celts. They're getting really rammed right now by these Mongols. It's just a matter of time too when the Persians can actually take their war elephants and start coming in this direction. It's really a matter of time once that starts occurring, yeah. Yep, we see the castle start to get sieged down right now. Very good. Very nice. Take out those Mangodai, yep. Siege Ram starting to push onto those houses now. Oh man, how many castles we have now from the Celts? We have a castle there, we have a castle there. Oh man, Persians are indeed pushing with their war allies now, and the Trebs are managing to take out one castle. Will the allies be able to take out the rest of the Scorps? So it's the question. Oh, Savar's coming in too. That's a good addition, I think. Savar's will definitely finish off those Scorps, honestly. Seems like right now the Team Twepy is doing well again, you know. They're finally making a significant push, it looks like, yeah. I don't know if they won the last... It seemed like they did win the last game, right? But, yeah, it's really weird. Wow, look at all the trade that's being lost, right? This is significant stuff right here. Look at all the stuff that's being eliminated. Ugh. Insane. Brutal, actually. Wow. Last castle going down for the Celts. They're gonna have to build another castle here, but Teams Twepy wins the game. Absolutely, yeah, GG. I don't think you can do much over there at this point. No, definitely not. So yeah, this was a pretty good series. It was a pretty good series overall, I would say, you know. You normally don't see a series like that where we get some really good fights going on both sides. I definitely feel like the Twepy team had some more big pushes, knew how to use their civs a bit better, but you know, Maltar and Noriko did pull off some good wins there as well. So yeah, that was definitely a really good one. If you enjoyed this series, I did 2 ones previously, so check those ones out as well. The ketchup potato one and then the Gator God Eat one. Either way, sign off now. GG and well played everybody that participated in these matches. Hopefully you continue to do more great matches for us too.